Hello, my name is Patricia Garza Pinto. I'm founder of Divine Your Power, Health and Wellness for the 21st Century. It is a women's empowerment, health, wellness, and spirituality training and coaching program. Don't worry, I work with men too. But I prefer working with women as I love to empower my sisters the way I empowered myself through my most challenging of times and my darkest of shadows. So how did I do that? Well, as a holistic health and wellness coach and practitioner, I implement daily rituals, health, wellness, and spirituality rituals that keep me strong in my body and grounded and balanced. So I wanted to share some of those rituals with you today. So we all know that we are experiencing, actually, let me rephrase that. I trust many of us are experiencing very challenging times with this virus and what I call house arrest. So that said, I would love to share with you some of my powerful health, wellness, and spirituality rituals based on the principles in my Divine Your Power program. These are actually also rituals, very powerful rituals. So I'm just going to refer to my notes because every once in a while I get so passionate that I get off subject and I don't want to do that. So first of all, I wanted to premise this chat by saying, please consider honoring your emotions, however they show up. At this time, they may show up very powerfully, and they may also show up in extremes. And by that I mean one day you can be joyful and happy and singing and humming, and the next day you can be in your shadow and your doubt and your fear and insecurity and even apathy. And I can only say that because even I, as a health and wellness spirituality coach and health and wellness coach, also, as I'm still in my human form in this third dimension, experience those extremes at times. The difference perhaps between you and I is that I have certain rituals, tools that I pull out of my tool chest. So I'm just going to ask you to please do not dismiss your emotions, however they show up. And I ask that if they show up in the form of a shadow, meaning doubt, depression, fear, anxiety, insomnia, insecurity, apathy, then to please just notice them, allow them to express themselves, preferably when you're by yourself or in a quiet space, and acknowledge them, affirm them, validate them, bless them in those parts of your inner child, and then perhaps just get to bed early. You know, this is definitely a process. It's a new experience for all of us. So lots of new stuff is showing up. So that's what I wanted to begin with by saying, please honor your feelings however they show up. Do not dismiss them. This is so powerful during these times. It's so important to honor those aspects of self, the many aspects of self. All right, so the question perhaps you have is, because I've discovered as a holistic health and wellness practitioner, people don't care what I do. They don't care about my certifications. The only thing they truly care about is, how can you help me? How can you help me, Patricia, feel better? So that's what I want to offer you today. Little tools around how you can feel better immediately. And these are natural, alternative, healing modalities based on my experience. So, beginning with the importance of honoring the sacred body temple. Somebody sent me a meme with a photograph right when this quarantine stuff began, and it was a picture of, if I recall, it was a picture of a chunky looking beaver floating on its back in the water. And the meme was, by the time this quarantine is over, I'm either going to be a member of AA or Weight Watchers. And I thought, wow, that speaks volumes. And it was ha-ha. But sometimes through our laughter or jovial or jokes, we want to send a message. So part of me was curious about this individual. And reading between the lines, I thought that's probably in part what they're struggling with is drinking to excess and overeating, obviously to excess, which can create havoc in the long run. So I'm going to ask you to consider during these times, specifically more so during these times, because what you do now, you will be doing later. You know, as above, so below, as within, so without. As you do one thing is how you do everything. So during these times, if you find yourself apathetic, lethargic, indifferent, then there is a chance you could continue that pattern. I'm not saying you will or it is true. I'm just offering that there is a possibility. So I feel powerful, strong health and wellness and spirituality rituals will keep us grounded and balanced. And when all these quarantines are released or shifted, then we will be able to take these powerful tools with us. So this is about honoring the sacred body temple. Okay, how would I do that? Well, based on my Divine Your Power Health and Wellness and Spirituality program and rituals, and there are 4 principles in my program. The first one, and not necessarily in this order, is conscious movement. Some people would say, oh, exercise? Okay, well, I see it more than that. I'm also a corrective exercise specialist, so I don't even like to call it exercise. I call it conscious movement. Conscious movement, working with me, means awakening the deep intrinsic muscle unit, the teeny tiny muscles under the big superficial muscles. If you have a six-pack, I'm referring to the teeny tiny muscles under your six-pack. Those are the muscles of true core stability. Those are also, even more powerfully, I feel, the muscles of the source of deep wisdom. All right? So awakening the teeny tiny muscles under the big muscles. And if you're going to ask me how to do that, that's for a different video, because I could go deeper with that. But basically, conscious movement, however that shows up. For me, when I'm not in my fitness studio, I have a private fitness studio here at my home, I'm doing my daily restorative stretches, okay, which help release stuck energies and get me in the flow. So first and foremost, releasing stuck energies through restorative stretching. And, I am a coach around with those types of movements. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me around that. So first of all, conscious movement, and to you, that could mean going outside and being conscious about the environment you're in, whether it's walking or hiking or jogging or cycling, riding on horseback. Don't just go out and do it. I would offer you consider being really uber conscious about your surroundings, right? And being in touch with all Mother Nature around you. Because in my experience, and before I began to wake up, I would just go out and ride my bike, my road bike, or I would be out, doing some martial arts moves on the grass out in the park. But now I have such a deeper awareness around and about Mother Nature that it brings that life force energy into me as well. So conscious movement. The second would be energy breath work. Energy breath work to me is based on a form of Qigong, basic Qigong. I know there are very elaborate forms and movements, but I like to keep it simple with my clients and for myself at the beginning. So that would be in the form of stork in flight, and which is a whole different form of movement with Qigong, using the breath, expanding through the diaphragm and the stomach and the diaphragm, bringing the life force energy into the body through the breath. And in my experience, the best way and most powerful way to integrate that powerful life force energy through the breath is to be barefoot on the land, whether it's at the beach or the park or your backyard on the grass or the lawn or the dirt on a trail, on a mountaintop, even more beautiful. So you could bring in that powerful life force energy of Mother Nature, Pachamama, into your body and let it flow and move and awaken all those dormant parts. So that would be the second one, energy breath work. The next one and third one is conscious eating. And I'm not talking about diets. As a holistic health and wellness coach, I teach my clients how to eat based on a primal pattern diet that their ancestors ate. Because we are all different physiologically, from the pigmentation to our skin, to the color of our hair, to our bones and our makeup. So why would we all eat the same type of food? Why would everybody be a vegan, or why would everybody be a vegetarian? Why would everybody be a carnivore or a pescatarian or a breatharian? So in my experience as a coach, I feel it is best to experience and also suggest to my clients that they eat a diet based on their ancestors' diet. So if you have more questions about that, please don't hesitate to call, because that's a deeper subject. So in this case, conscious eating would be B. I would ask you to consider being very present about the food that you're putting into your sacred body temple. Is it clean? Is it organic? Is it non-GMO? Is it gluten-free? Because many people have gluten-free allergies. GMO foods, genetically modified organisms, are what I call frankenfoods and very bad for the body, especially in the long run. Non-organic, similarly. Let's see, what else is clean? When I say clean, I ask you consider to please eat as close to Mother Nature, food that Mother Nature and God created, as possible. And that is a combination of fresh and raw foods, okay? Raw foods, because we keep the beautiful life force energy and the enzymes. And if you're going to cook the food and have some, then I would offer you consider not overcooking it, because that just kills everything. So conscious eating, what about the food you're putting in your body? Is it full of powerful life force, vibrant energy? Because whatever you eat and ingest, you're going to take on that life force energy, okay? The last principle and ritual would be introspection, prayer, and meditation. That's a combination of all three. Introspection, taking some time, even if it's just 5 minutes in the day, to check in with yourself, with your soul and your spirit. How am I doing today? With no interruptions, at least 5 minutes, and then have a conversation with yourself. How am I doing today? Wow, this really challenged me. Okay, so speak to your pieces and parts, your inner child, your inner teenager, your inner adult, whoever shows up for you. And then, of course, meditation and prayer. And once again, I share with my clients that meditation doesn't have to be some long, drawn out, where you're sitting in lotus position and holding mudras. That's beautiful if you're at that level. Awesome. But many people aren't. One of my teachers once taught me when I was writing my second and forthcoming book, you need to, this is exactly what she said. This is a problem with experts. You think everybody knows what you're talking about. So Patricia, I want you to write this book like you're speaking to a 7-year-old. So there are a lot of 7-year-olds out there in the world that have never experienced meditation, okay? So I would offer, if you're curious about that, just to sit in quiet in a comfortable spot where your body's comfortable and it's quiet. You've turned off your phone, you've turned off your computer, you have no interruptions, the dog's not barking, the kids are not screaming, and then just sit in silence. And people would say, well, I can't, my mind goes mad and I have monkey mind and I can't stop thinking. Focus on your breath. Pay attention to your breath. Every time you go to a thought, let it float by, come back to your breath. And start with just a small segment of time for 5 minutes, and then incrementally increase the time. Before you know it, you'll be having 45-minute meditations. Woo! So those are my tips, all right? So I'll recap it by saying the Divine Your Power tips to help you stay grounded and balanced and in your body and in your power are 1, conscious movement, 2, energy breath work, 3, conscious eating, and 4, meditation, prayer, and introspection. Okay? So please don't hesitate to contact me if you have any questions or comments. My website is www.divineyourpower.com. DIVINE yourpower.com. Until we meet again, brothers and sisters, have a beautiful, blessed day. Namaste. Namaste.